My father was a drummer, so I was brought up around drums all the time. I wanted to be just like Dad.
Are you?
No, I could never live up to what my father is, but I've got my own thing. No, my father's great. It'd be great to be just like my dad, but that's a hard thing to do. You have to be a saint.
What is the most difficult part of? What is the most difficult part of drumming?
For me,
the coordination or?
No, I don't find that difficult. It's the physicality of drumming. I'm small framed. I wish I was 6 feet. So that's all. The only difficult part sometimes is I wish I could play just that few more hours more than my body lets me.
5. elokuuta Toto menetti lahjakkaan ja huumorintajuisen rumpalinsa Jeff Porcaron. Siitä alkoi varsinainen hullun mylly ja etenkin huhumylly bändin ympärille. Tässä pojat itse kommentoivat tapahtunutta. What makes you angry?
What makes me angry? Well, there's a lot that makes me angry, actually. I mean, it's a question of where you want to start. I really hate to dwell on the negative, you know what I mean? But I don't like people with tabloid mentalities, you know? Like what they were saying about our brother Jeff, man, that he died of a drug overdose. No, that's not true. He died of a heart attack, and then, you know, the press gets a hold of some false information without corroborating it, and next thing you know, it spreads like cancer. And that's a real shame, you know?
Yeah, it's a gossip, false witness, false gossip.
People believe what they want. They believe, they pick up these newspapers and they read this stuff and they think that it's all true. I mean, half of my friends in LA are like actors or musicians, and they're always in the tabloids, and it's just downright bullshit.
Don't bullshit a bullshitter.
Right. I mean, or at least if you're gonna print something, make sure it's true.
Yeah.
That pisses me off probably more than anything else in the world.
Brian May told us that he always feels that Freddie's spirit is around. He thinks, he knows what he's thinking about you.
I feel the same way about Jeffrey too, man.
Yeah.
I feel him with us. I feel him with us always, you know. And it's very important to remember him and think about him and positive, because you know, he's not here, but the love still is, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he sent Simon to us, to be real honest.
I do too.
Honestly, no, it was weird because David and I said it at the same time. And Dave didn't know Simon.
Yes.
When we finally decided to do this, which was a difficult decision to actually...
Mainly because he's such a sweetheart. I truly believe it. No, Jeff's spirit is with us, and I know what Jeff's thinking a lot of the times, because I grew up with him when I was 13. I mean, I've roomed with Jeff before, and...
Scary thing
and
to talk about, but...
Jeff's always with us. Like I said, one thing a musician can do, what's great about the media technology, is that when you pass on, you can leave something. Jeff's left a lot of great music. He left some videos. He even directed one of our videos, one of our best videos. And this new album, he participated in a lot of the lyric writing. And like I said, that's something that will go on forever, which is his music, you know, and which helps us so someone doesn't, you don't end. You keep on going, you know, until we see him again, you know.
Yeah.
...32 astetta Fahrenheitia on jäätymispiste. 212 Fahrenheitia on puolestaan veden kiehumispiste. Mikä onkaan Toto-yhtyeen lämpötila vuonna 1992? Gabriel Daniel Fahrenheit would be proud of this band. What is the temperature of Toto at the moment?
I would say fairly hot, on the hot side.
Yeah, things are going really, really well. The record's doing really, really, really well. Better than we expected out of the box, and the tours, you know, selling out or real close to it if it's not, you know.
So it's like 212 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yeah, you could say that. Flame on.
boiling.
Yes.
Boiling.
Filet mignon? Yeah.
How do you decide on things in your band? Are you a democratic band or do you quarrel a lot?
That's a democracy. Plain and simple.
Those people that quarrel with us are alleviated.
Once in a while we may have to.
teasing.
Once in a while we may actually come to vote on something, maybe, but that's very rare.
Gonna have to vote here soon, huh?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how many copies of your albums altogether have sold?
Mark Hartley told me about
Have you ever counted?
12 million.
Does that change
Roughly.
your perspective of
I'm trying
record
to figure out
business
where all the
or
money is because we sure as hell don't have it.
the manager? What do you do when you don't tour or don't do a record? Do you
Raise
do
our
anything
family.
else?
Yeah, we both have 2 kids. Not me and him, but we are married and have 2 children. So I miss him very much. He got lucky. One of his oldest boy got to come out and see him. So I'm looking forward to going home and seeing him live.
You've been criticized for playing too well. Does that make any sense?
No, it doesn't.
Don't
How could that be? How could that make sense?
How does it feel
See,
when?
those people are laughing.
How does that feel? That kind of criticism.
It's a compliment. Somebody says that you play too good, that means you played very well. And if they wish that we played worse, then they should listen to the people that play worse than we do.
What do you think of punk, for example? Where
Don't. I don't think of it.
you don't think
I mean, I understand the concept of what's supposed to be good about it, but it's really funny about all these punk bands now, like that started out in the late 70s, early 80s, now are trying to make pop records. And, and that's some of the slickest, most washed out stuff I've ever heard, so.
I heard it was
Things
funny
change.
on MTV today. No, it wasn't MTV. It was some video show from England that was on the television this morning. They had an interview with Billy Idol. And what was the punk band he originally came from?
Generation X or something.
Generation X or whatever, something like that. And he said he was always disappointed in the punk thing, how he always thought that all the press rave and even the punk bands themselves, the way they acted and what punk became, he didn't like because they forgot about the music and it was more slamming and fashion and all that. And he said that's why he was always disappointed with what happened to the originally when he was in a punk thing. He says they forgot music. That was his quote.
I can dig that.
If you weren't musicians, what would you be, or who would you like to be? Is there any choice?
I don't know. It's a very hard, serious question to ask because we've all been doing this since we were so young that I don't remember not doing it. I imagine we'd find something to do. We'd probably still have families of some kind. We'd probably live a little differently, but it's hard to say.
Did you two already met at school, or do you find that an advantage or a disadvantage to know each other so well from the beginning?
It's an advantage. The nucleus of this band knew each other since they were children. Children don't lie to each other when they're young, so as you grow older, I think it's a good advantage to have if you know each other from, how do I say, it's very honestly and openly.
Yeah.
It's not like some 20-year-olds got together and you don't really know the person, and some people put on facades as they go through their different changes in life.
Basically, no, go ahead.
No, but that's basically,
Can't bullshit a bullshitter.
right.
You probably can't use that, but that's really where it's at. I think that there's 2 levels. There's the poser music that's all computers, the people that can't really play and they get a lot of press and everybody loves them. You never hear about them 6 months later. And then there's the people that can really play who, in their careers, they have up and down times, like anybody that's around for a long time does. And I think that there's some really good music coming out, some real positive, good things. And I think there's a lot of rubbish out too, so I think the balance is probably 50-50.
Who have influenced you most?
In music,
Yes, in music.
Jimi Hendrix.
We're just trying to make the best music we can as honestly as we can, even though some people don't think that we're honest. We are very honest and very into what we do.
I think we've accomplished a lot as a band.
Yeah.
I mean, if everything ended right now, I wouldn't look back and say, oh, gee, I wish this. I mean, we've been real lucky, and as musicians, whether singularly, individually, or as a group, we've all accomplished a lot,
It's been a great 10 years. We've grown up a lot in 10 years, I think is what it is.
What is the most important thing in your lives? Is it music or maybe something else?
Well, my family's probably my most important, absolutely important thing.
Yeah.
That I would drop everything for if they needed me.
That's the most
I mean,
important.
they need me, but you know. But music is my life. I mean, I feel, as corny as it sounds, that I was probably born into this world to do this because I can't do anything. I can't unzip my pants with my left hand. You know, but I mean, I can play guitar,
true.
so I mean, I don't know why. You know. Yeah, I've done the first solo record. I had a great time doing it.
Why did it take this long?
Why did it take this long? Well, you know, I really didn't think I was ready for it. You know, I really needed to. On the last tour, I started singing a lot more in the show and just got a little bit more confidence to do it. And besides that, the band wanted to take like a year or so off. And I didn't want to take a break. I wanted to make a record. And I thought, well, now's as good a time as any. It was just experiment a little bit. And just, you know, I had a focal point. I wanted to keep it pretty hard, you know, as far as hard rock and roll, and a little less poppy. I mean, there's a couple of pop kind of tunes on it, but most of it's pretty hard.
How have people taken this album? It differs a lot from your previous records.
Well, that was the point. I mean, what's the point of making a record that sounds like Toto? I mean, I'm not Toto. I'm a member of Toto. And I'm more of a hard rock and roller anyway. I mean, that's the music I listen to when I'm hanging out at home. I started when I was pretty young. I was about 7, and I started picking up guitar, feeling about playing a few chords. And it was just sort of thing. Once I picked it up, I never put it down. It was the only thing in my whole life that was ever consistent, you know, my friend.
Highlights, it's funny. I'll think that 2 months ago was a highlight during a rehearsal with the band, just because it didn't go on tape, it, you know, didn't get recorded at all, but yet musically it was a highlight. We have highlights.
It's like
in the
a
club.
moment of inspiration, you know what I mean? When like everything just like, for whatever reason, just goes like this, you know? And we're just looking at each other going, yeah, man. And generally that happens like when we're jamming and there's no tape machines.
Right.
Love is a fire, burning desire. It's so some living almighty dollar. Some don't believe in nothing at all. But there's a power that's within you. Will never, never, ever let you down.
What is his best quality? Why did you choose him?
He's unique. I think that has a lot to do with it. And
Great lyricist. Very
he
musical.
has something to say because he's lived through things that like, yeah, it's one thing to say, yeah, you want to get involved. We're not really a political band, nor do we want to be per se, but if you are going to touch upon a subject that has something to do with what people are talking about, say apartheid or any of that other things, or any environmental stuff, to have someone who's been there and lived it, as opposed to just being from Los Angeles and reading the newspaper and saying, well, gee, isn't that a drag? I think that you know, he's bringing that sort of a thing just for those kind of songs. I mean, we all write, all of us write, and we all have something to say, whether even if it's a love song. It's still coming from some kind of personal experience, which makes it real.
There's no difference between black or white. It's only a matter of definition. All flesh is grass. Comprehending. Let's blow, Jeff. I can give the children who left it a minute of war. Stop your worry. Peace and chance. There's a new day dawning. Come together.
Lives in a house with all the rest of our old singers.
Actually, that was a temporary. We did a greatest hits album, and at the time we were just going to put out a greatest hits album, and we were going to do maybe add a couple, 2 or 3 extra cuts. Well, our record company, in their imminent wisdom, said, we found your singer for you. And they brought this person in, and they said, please try this person out. We have a singer for you. And we had a couple of cuts, and when we first did the first recording, which is Can't You Hear What I'm Saying, it seemed like a good idea. It was one of those seemed like a good idea at the time, but we said, we're only going to try 4 cuts and maybe try it on 1 tour, nothing long term. And we tried it out, and it didn't work out quite up to our expectations, and in our usual eminent style, we moved on to what you have now, which is the four of us here that we have here, which is basically keyboards, bass, guitar, and drums, and with a guitar singing, which is the way we played in high school, at many rock and roll dances in the early 70s, which that evolved into Hold the Line sound. So we're back to our roots.
Say, come on, baby, we've got tonight. Knowing this is meant to take us right. I need you up and never get your time. I'm feeling just a bit in your bed to cry. We're
There's a great movement going where we live in Los Angeles, the recycling. I mean, in the last 6 months, most people, now you go into their homes. It's one thing where people would afterwards separate the trash, glass, metal, aluminum, recyclable. Now people are paying extra taxes and voting for extra taxes to have trucks come that just take away the glass, and you separate your disposables and your waste at home now. People are very conscious of that. All the businesses, you go into a business now, there's even computer paper must be put in a separate bin because of the metal or mercury content it may have in some of it. Exactly. Everybody is very conscious of that, and the community as a whole in Los Angeles with the air pollution and
Really
water
bad.
pollution.
It's really bad. I mean, just in the past couple of years, it's gotten worse.
Small business.
Yeah. I live on the hills and I look down at this stuff and I go, man, I cannot believe that I'm breathing.
And believe it or not, the greatest messenger of it for us in Los Angeles are the children. Yes, we have it in adverts, we see it on TV, but usually grown-ups going to work and busy and worrying about the rent and the mortgage. When you see your children learning it in school and seeing it on TV, and they're telling you, no, put that goes in this one, and they're like little Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. They want it. That's what gets you the incentive and gets you motivated. Is you have to realize that the
It's a
children have to
legacy
live.
that we're leaving behind. I mean, that started way before us. I mean, people have been trashing our world for a long time. It's only now catching up, and now it's questionable whether it's irreparable or not. At this point, because the oceans, what they're pouring the oceans along, I mean, we have no idea in 20 years' time, just what they're doing now, how it's going to take effect. I mean, there may come a point where water will be the new gold. Like, how much water do you have?
And air.
Air.
In Los Angeles, everybody has bottled
Yeah,
water.
no, I would never drink out of that. Nor would I let my children.
I had dreams of being a painter.
He's actually
My
a great
career.
artist.
I'm actually still working so I can go to school. No, I had no dreams. I think I did it. I don't know about Luke, but I did it just for the love of music and the fun of playing. I had, when I was young, no dreams of being successful in music. I didn't think that way. I just had fun with girls, music, and art.
How about you?
Your
big dream?
No, see, I'll cop to it because I think I mean, a different point of view. Something I always wanted. I mean, I wanted to become a successful musician, not necessarily a rock star. I just wanted to be a really good musician, and I wanted to be able to work for the rest of my life, not be some teeny bop idol that is successful for 5 years and you never hear from him again. I think the most important thing to me is just to try to become a better musician, every year try to get a little better by working at it and more experienced and being around for a long, long time. Like, say, somebody like your father,
Right.
who's still at the top of his game, and I don't even know, what is he, 50? He's 50 years old?
60 years old.
60 years old, and he looks like he's a young man because he's happy doing what he loves.
And he still works every day.
And I want to be like that, I mean, my father's in the movie biz, he's an assistant director, so something I never wanted any part of. I respect him for what he does, but, it's a
It's a hard job.
miserable job. And he'll be the first to tell you.
Elähtäneitä studiohemmoja, jumalaisia instrumentalisteja, osa päivähippejä, ilmiömäisiä vedenkestäviä taiteilijoita. Kaikkea sitä on sanottu tästäkin bändistä.
And your big dream at the moment, musically and personally?
My big dream is that I stay happy with my music so that my kids will stay happy for the rest of their life, just having a good parent, a good father who's, what do I say?
You are a good father.
Who's confident in being a good parent and father. I am a good father. Thank you.
Take it away.
Well, I wish the same for my children. You know, I want them to be happy and lead an unburdened life. But I also wish that for the world, you know.
Exactly.
Probably unbeknownst to a lot of people, this tour was already booked at the time that Jeff passed away, and we were just 3 weeks away from doing this. So buildings were rented, people were hired from other tours to do this, and we were kind of in the 11th hour. So it's not like, well, we booked this tour as a commemorative tour thing. We were already planned to do it, and so the decision was made because of different variables. We were going to donate some money to Jeff's family, and Simon canceled a bunch of things to come with us at the last minute.
How about Simon? How did it feel to start to work with this band? Was it a big surprise for you?
Yeah, it was a big surprise, but
We actually blackmailed him. We have these photos of Simon. And,
At the Leather Man's Bar, yeah.
it's you that's got them. I wonder who got those ones. It was, I mean, when we first sat down and played the first song together, it seemed very, very natural. It clicked out straight away. We didn't really rehearse that much due to circumstances. I think we actually played maybe 14 days over a sort of 3-week period. So, yet we were running the set for the last week and a bit.
Yeah, Simon was awesome. He came right in, you know, at a very difficult time, emotional time, and he not only is he a brilliant drummer, but he's a really great guy too. And that's really important to fit into the family. And he's become our family, you know, and that's really what it's all about. When you have to be out and spend time with people in close quarters for many months, you know. You need to be best friends, otherwise it could be really a long time and really be a drag.
Yeah.
And also sensitive to the situation that we were in, you know, with Jeffrey dying on us and all that. You know.
Toto has been called one of the happiest marriages in rock and roll. Do you agree?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
thank you. I mean, I take that as a compliment, you know. Certainly.
That's because we all signed a prenuptial agreement.
Yes. Certainly being in a band is very much like a marriage.
Yeah.
In not only musically, being able to get along, or not get along, as the case may be.
I mean, it's not every day. It's not.
And
little teeny
and you have to go and live with each other on the road, and you have to be in confined quarters and everything. And we have our ups and downs, but these are brothers. I mean, I never had a brother, but these are my brothers here and everything. So
Can I
mean,
have one of them? I don't have any brothers.
Hey,
Very good. Saw an opening ticket. I love that.
How about Los Angeles today? It seems to be boiling also. What is the atmosphere like? Many people are moving away from there because of the riots.
It's boiling all right. I live up in the hills looking down on my hometown on fire. Feel like our own people killing our own people. It's really stupid, you know.
this town right here, this picture in back of us has to be the antithesis of Los Angeles. There's clean air.
Oh, yeah.
People are quiet, peaceful, no crime going on. Everything's clean. Where our city's it's gotten real smoggy, and like I said, there's fires burning. People are angry, and there's a lot of unrest, you know. Simon, having come from England, where lots of this goes on, he really enjoys a good fight, so he decided to move here just so he could go down to South Central and hang out with the homies.
Hang out with Ice-T and
Right,
nice
yeah.
people. Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's As everybody explained, LA it's that type of place.
Never boring.
But for me, it seems like a good thing to do. It's a change as well from rural England, especially where I live, to in the centre of it all, really. An experience.
You have won a lot of awards. Do they always come as a surprise, or what do they mean to
Very
Toto?
nice to win things.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
I never won anything when I was a kid, you know. I was always like the last to be picked to play. Yeah, I'll take him. Do we have to? You know, so it's kind of nice to have the other side of that
Right.
now. Like people like what
Yeah.
you do and make enough noise to where you would get gold records or platinum
Yes.
records or Grammys and stuff like that. I mean, that's stuff that you dream about when you're a kid. You don't really ever think that it's actually going to happen to you.
Yeah.
When it does, it's always special. And then sometimes when I'm not playing music, I don't want to hear any music at all. Like if after a concert or after a rehearsal or something, I just I can't stand if somebody's got the radio on in their car. Please, no music. Yeah, I come home. My son's 5 years old, plays the drums, right? He
Are you still gonna stay as a band?
Well, we're going to discuss that later on. Steve's going to do a solo album. Dave's got some film projects or whatnot going on. We've committed ourselves just to finish this tour. It's a 10-week tour. We'll be home December 5th. And we'll spend some time with the families and take some time for ourselves.
Have my blood changed?
Have his blood changed. and then we'll get back and discuss it sometime, by sometime late spring, we'll sit down and we'll talk about...
Simon and I will be announcing our engagement plans.
Yes.
Right, post-nuptial.
It's something we haven't really discussed yet, and we're going to give ourselves some time to think about it here.
God bless. Have a happy life.
Thanks for all your support. And when Christmas does come, think of peace, think of love in your children and your family. Have a good time. Be thankful.